No offense taken. That fucking sucks.
Welcome back, Response on Players, to episode 16 of Response on Play. I am the May Queen, Brian, and joining me,
Steph with a sunny spring smiley face.
Jake with a Andrew. The safe word is whiskey.
And Nick, I think I might be allergic to these flowers.
And I'm James. I'm definitely allergic to the flowers.
and as you can see, Andrew, of course, is not with us. He is channeling his inner Julie Andrews and finding the sound that is alive in the hills. But as you can see, we've been joined by a new member. Nick is one of our new team members. And Nick, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? And by me, I mean everybody that's not me. I know who you are.
Well, again, hi, I'm Nick. I like to play Universus and hang out with my friends.
Prove it. Name every Universus card.
That was
Whoa.
that was so non-specific. You had to put in effort to be that non-specific. Like those are the
That's
two
why
default things you have to be on the podcast. You gotta like the card game. You gotta hang out with your friends.
So you like universes and you like hanging out with your friends. I heard that you did both of those things in Denver.
I did.
How'd you do?
I didn't do that well.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, his friends weren't actually there. So that-
So what'd you end up playing in Denver?
I played Grog.
Wow, you're like the one Grog player actually there.
There were a few of
There's
us.
like 5 of
okay?
them.
Don't pick Grog. He's a great character.
A great character you're definitely still testing with, right?
We've decided to look at other avenues for now.
But you're going to remain
Oh.
amicable with each other.
Of course. Love Grog. We'll work on him in the background.
As some will remember, Nick did come with us to Denver. Thank you, words. And hung out with us all weekend. It was a lot of fun. He's from our local area. We've been friends for a while. And since he's as committed and helps out with stuff on the team anyway, we went ahead and invited him to the team. He's a welcomed addition. And I wish he would say more things about himself other than he likes to play universes and hang out with his friends.
Yeah, but he's shy. He doesn't know what to say. He's camera shy, even though there's no camera.
What else do I say?
What
I don't know, what else do you
Just
want to talk
yap,
about?
bro.
Start yipping and
know.
yapping.
I'm just a generic dude.
Yeah, you are.
I'm
cool
the
guy.
third NPC.
Yeah,
To be
Yeah,
fair,
kinda
he
just
kind of
do
reminds me of like our first two podcasts.
it's like a little,
Yeah,
a little
he's
like
a little-
uncomfortable.
It's chill. It's chill.
I mean,
get it.
my dog isn't as popular as Steph's dog, but I do have
That's
a
true.
dog.
You have a dog? What kind of
Your
dog?
dog?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a border collie.
Anybody else
Um,
want to pressure Nick with questions?
Yeah, he's got a border collie. What's the name? What's your dog's name?
Bruce. His name's Bruce.
Bruce the border collie.
It's like Banner.
You take him on
Wayne?
walks, Nick?
Wayne.
Ah,
Because
you're
Batman is
DC
the
guy.
best.
Do you take him on
superhero.
walks?
He's the best DC
Nick, you got a border
superhero.
collie. You take that boy on
You
walks?
feed that dog, Nick?
I feed
Tell
the
us,
dog, yeah.
Nick. What the dog doing?
What's the dog
What the
doing?
dog do?
I don't know. He's outside of my office right now, probably laying around, being a lazy guy.
That's what you get to do when you're a dog like that. He's already done his work. Anyway, I do have something. Nick, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay. Favorite month?
October.
Star sign.
What?
What's your star sign?
What's your zodiac?
Aquarius?
What's your zodiac sign? All right. Chinese New Year sign.
Rat?
Rat
Oh,
Bros?
you're a
Okay.
filthy rat. That makes so much sense.
Okay.
Nick
Dude,
doesn't want to talk to us. That's fine. But
Gang.
we'll make him talk to us as we go along in the podcast. We're gonna move on.
Y'all are rat gang. I'm jelly.
I know.
I'm not
I wish I
right.
I've been
was a
stuck
rat.
in a I've been
I mean,
stuck in a
I-
basement for so long. I'm sorry. I'm not used to social interaction.
You're the rooster.
I'm a snake. Not talking about that, but talking about things that start with an S. Our sub count. It's abysmal.
I don't think it's really that bad.
Oh yeah, what's our number? What are we at?
106.
Oh wow, that's way better than I thought we were at.
That's super good. 106
Hey,
is
we passed
great.
100. Let's
Andrew,
go.
can we get fireworks in post?
No.
100 was the.
That's like a milestone. That's a
Yeah.
first milestone hit.
100 was like
106,
our
that's a
big
weird milestone.
milestone. I remember us talking about that. Like when we first started the podcast, we were like, "Damn, wouldn't it be cool if we got to 100 subs?"
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
was
that's
actually
been
pretty
said.
crazy.
Andrew, go scour every single video and prove that that's not been said.
it has
No,
been
we
said.
definitely talked
Review
about
every
it.
DM.
Review every DM.
I remember talking about. I remember some of the first conversations. If we could get 100 subs, we'd feel pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So here we are, feeling.
Yeah,
pretty
but now we're on to
good.
bigger, better things. 100 isn't enough.
true. It honestly does
Okay.
feel
Yeah,
like
that's why
that.
I was brought on.
Wait, hold on. Why is Brian being so cynical? Brian is literally the optimist everyman.
No,
You yelled at him
I'm,
for not having an opinion earlier, and now he's mad.
I'm doing a bit. I apologize. No, 106 is awesome, and I'm really excited to, I don't know, get one more than that. Like anybody who joins us is cool.
Absolutely. Thank
I'll
everybody
like your
so
comments.
much.
Yeah, thank everybody who
And-
actually listens to this dumb podcast.
Whoa.
Our podcast is great.
Don't insult the podcast.
You're right. I'm sorry. Anybody who listens to this particular dumb podcast episode, because it has Nick.
Ooh,
So
damn.
I think I elevate this, or I might not. I don't know. We'll see how everything pans out at the end.
You give it
We'll
a
see.
different flavor. It's just a slightly different flavor, you know. What if you were a flavor? What flavor would you be, Nick?
Ah, there we go.
What flavor of
Peanut
podcast
butter.
would you be?
Peanut butter.
Peanut
Okay.
butter?
Peanut butter?
You're a peanut
All
butter
right.
guy?
That's a
It
That's
decent
goes
good.
great
flavor.
with most
That's good.
everything.
Yeah.
Mm,
Do you like peanut butters and banana?
Yeah.
What about on a
Mm.
sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Do you,
I like
man.
peanut butter with ice cream.
question, do you like
Hmm.
peanut butter with your onions?
Ew.
Haven't tried that one yet.
So I had a stepdad who ate peanut butter and onion sandwiches, and I'm not kidding.
That sounds gross. What the?
Sounds awful.
yeah, that's Nick.
That
That's,
mm,
that's
That's
Nick.
Dude, I
Hi,
thought
son.
I thought you were referencing like the stinky sandwich from SpongeBob. You know when he like eats the stinky sandwich? in
Oh
the
yeah,
theater?
no, I was like, that's a real world experience. Like
Ew.
I've eaten one because I had a stepdad who used to eat them.
What did it
I'm
taste
sorry
like?
for you.
It tasted bad.
Probably, yeah.
It's like peanut butter and onions.
Gross.
But yeah, with us being over 100 subscribers, and that was a big milestone that we talked about, we've got some stuff in the works. Keep an eye out on us, and over probably the next, oh gosh, soon.
Don't overcommit here.
the next soon trademark.
The next soon.
The next period of time.
Yeah.
Over the
We'll be
next,
announcing
who
something
knows
for the
amount of time.
community of Universus.
Yeah, but we
and
will
our
probably be
podcast.
doing something.
How long have we been doing the podcast now? I know we're on episode 16, so that's
So we skipped a
16
couple
weeks.
of weeks, 16 weeks plus
two events plus
two
Christmas?
events plus Christmas. I think this will be week 20.
It's like 7 months
Wow.
almost.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. 7 months?
Has it been that
It's
long?
not quite 7 months. I think it's
We started
First
Or-
episode
sorry, 5.
says
My
that
bad.
it was
Bad at
posted
math.
4 months ago.
5 months.
yeah. I was like, man doesn't know how to do math, but
so
I don't
4
know.
months.
it's like we're about to hit the
4
5th
months.
month.
Yeah, about to hit
Yeah.
5 months.
I
That's pretty
believe
crazy.
Episode 16, I think, is actually right before. Episode 17, I think, is going to be the 5-month mark.
If we
Which
make it
means-
that far.
Yeah, which means right before, basically right before Albuquerque, we will be 6 months.
Rad.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
that's-
speaking
It's awesome.
that's
of
pretty
Albuquerque.
sick.
It is pretty cool. We've heard that outside of the tournament that's going to be at Albuquerque, that there's going to be some kind of content creator thing. Now,
A summit, if you will.
I wouldn't.
The
That's
top
why I
of the
didn't say that.
hill.
So we heard that announced recently is that they're doing the Content Creator Summit at Albuquerque, which is really cool. We are hoping maybe they'll choose us. We're really trying to be pick-me's here about this.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
go
honestly.
to your nearest Universus office, your phone call your governor,
And
call,
say response on play
Yeah,
should be
just-
there.
Yeah, just tell them response on play should be there. I don't know. Ring phones, do something.
You should
like,
send in a
write
reasonably large amount of physical mail to Lenoco's doorstep.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely call Lenoco on the phone and just say, hey,
At all hours.
we like response. No, not at all hours. Let the man sleep.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. During
Responsible
normal
During normal business hours,
during
you
normal
should let-
solicitation hours, which
yes, normal solicitation hours, you should let Lenoco know, and not just Lenoco. Tell anybody you know on the UVS staff. Response on play should be at the Creator Summit.
I agree.
that way they don't invite us.
That way they don't invite us because both people that heard us and took action.
But yeah, well, obviously that's really cool. I know they did one last year in Vegas, which was not during an event, so I think they're trying to like merge that a little bit, make it a little easier on themselves and on the people going.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff. There was a lot of cool videos out of that. I remember being really excited about what everybody had to say about that event, and also like what their opinions were going forward about the future of Universes. So I'm hoping I get to be one of those voices, and the rest of us also get to be one of those voices.
Absolutely, yeah. It'd be very like obviously we like the game. We're pretty positive around here for the most part. Like to see the new changes and how they've been listening to the community recently. So it'd be very cool to be able to kind of get an inside look at what their plans are, and hopefully it's all really good stuff that we can kind of maybe give you guys a little sneak peek on.
Yeah, I'm super hyped to hear what comes of that, even if we don't get in. But fingers crossed. Really hoping we do. We're known to be beggars over here.
Oh yeah, no shame, zero shame whatsoever.
Zero shame. We love the game. We're very passionate about the game. It's why we do the event coverage and stuff that we do, because we want to shine a spotlight on not just us but the community. So we'll do a little bit of begging, but I would also love for our voices to be heard, especially mine, because I'm
Loud.
very loud. What about you, Steph?
I'm not as loud, but I'm excited for the content creator program because I thought it was new. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know that they did it before. Was I playing back when they did the first one?
No, you started a little after.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you just started.
Okay,
Yeah.
well that's my excuse then. That's why I didn't like watch any of the videos or like give a shit at all. But yeah, it seems exciting. I mean, I want to see new stuff, and then also I just really like making content, and it's like a creative outlet for me, you know? So it's like I want to be part of this program where that is really supported by Universes. Like I want to learn new stuff. I want to work with other people. I've been wanting to collab with people for a long time. I know we've done like a few things with like Sam Tate, and I'm excited about the other stuff that we're going to do with him. We talked about having Tam on the podcast like once or twice.
Spoilers.
Which
Yeah,
we will
spoilers.
probably be. I need to message him, or somebody needs to message him soon.
Who, Sam or
Who?
Tam?
Sam or Tam?
Yes,
Tam.
Both?
Tam.
Sam Tam?
Sam Tam?
You know, I call my dog Sam Tam, and I'm not joking.
not at the same time though.
Not because of
But-
Sam or Tam, but because
Get them both on the phone right now.
Get them on the line, Nick. Chop chop.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to work with these other creatives in the community. I mean, I love seeing the work of... Oh yeah, and David Toombs. I can't possibly name all of them. I mean, God
Yeah,
knows there's
obviously.
millions, you know, so...
Yeah, there's
Millions.
so many content creators.
But yeah, I am passionate about, you know, having this creative outlet and doing this stuff and playing Universes. Not playing Universes well, but like making
Yeah,
but
just
playing the
enjoying
game.
Yeah.
Being a part of the game.
Yeah, and being part of the community. I really do love the community, and everybody I talked to in Denver was great, and it made me happy to be here. So
All very salient and interesting points. Nick, what is your opinion?
Honestly, I'm happy to be part of the team and to start making content, and it gets me out of my comfort zone a little bit. Haven't done anything like this. I've been to some other events. Denver was my first Universus event though, which was a really good time overall, and I'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. As far as the Creator Summit goes, I'm excited to get potentially a sneak peek on things and have our opinions heard. I've played a lot of card games, so seeing how this game evolves and being a part of it is something very exciting to me. But going back to Denver, I know everybody talked about Casa Bonita before. Food
We didn't really, actually.
overall kind of mid. Burrito mid. Sorry,
this
Jake.
guy and his burrito. He would not stop talking the entire time about how much he hated his burrito. It was like every 10 seconds.
Every 10 seconds. Sometimes even 5 seconds.
Sometimes.
It's
And the
just
other,
really
like-
weird that he brought it up to every one of his opponents.
Yeah, anytime he wasn't talking about it, he was thinking about it.
True.
Obviously.
Nick, what didn't you like about the custom burrito?
It just didn't taste that great. And it was kind of cold.
Damn, it was
Cold?
cold? This is new. I didn't hear that it was cold.
New
wasn't
info
warm.
dropping?
Wasn't warm, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Dang.
Interesting.
Sheesh.
Jeez.
I didn't realize
The salsa,
Casamigos
though.
sucks.
The salsa, though, that hit.
We don't say Casamigos sucks in this house.
Good thing I'm not in your house.
No,
Agreed.
this podcast is my home, and you're my family. We don't talk about Casamigos like that.
Not in this casa, we don't.
Not in this casa. We don't bonita like that.
If you guys haven't been to Casa Bonita and you want to see what it looks like, and you want to see Nick's burrito, and you want to see Nick eating his cold burrito, you should.
Get into the video.
You should
You
go
should
check
watch
out.
the
But
vlog.
prices they charged, I wasn't gonna not eat my burrito.
Check out the vlog we just posted. It shows us at Denver. It shows us at Casa Bonita. Had a great time. It shows Nick eating his burrito, and then we also talk about our experience in depth at Denver, and you get to see us all sitting on a couch. So
It's true.
yeah,
Other than your mid burrito, you had a good time in Denver?
Yes. The tournament was really fun. Like I said, first Universus tournament. I played 5 rounds before dropping. Played Godzilla in round 1. We tied. The person I played against, super nice. Everybody was super nice, honestly. Round 2 was Ghidorah. That was a slog, and I just lost. Ghidorah was definitely my worst matchup. Then got to play against a Mitchell deck. That one was a bit rough as well. Didn't do so hot there. Followed that with a Pike deck. Totally beat the Pike deck.
no offense taken. That deck fucking sucks. Well, I don't know if their deck
then-
sucks. I don't know if their deck sucks.
Yeah, I was like, that's a little harsh sounding. 'Cause you don't,
It
and
sucks.
it would
No.
only make sense if you were that Pike.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. That character sucks, is what I meant.
For the
What-
context,
What
did you play Nick, Steph?
No, I didn't.
And we did not
what Steph is
play.
trying to say is,
No, the
Nick, your
character.
opponent chose a bad character
I think
because
the
they're
character-
bad at the game.
I think the character Pike is bad. I don't know if that deck was bad. It might have been totally fine.
This is 100%
I love
Steph's
the
opinion.
Universus community. I'm really happy to be a part of it. Also, Steph, it fucking sucked.
I'm sorry, other Pike player.
Exactly. That's even the worst.
I
'cause
feel
you-
like that Pike player was having the same experience you did, though.
Damn. So they would probably say that their deck sucked then, to be honest.
My
Maybe.
fellow Pike
Probably.
players. I
Oh.
did not have a winning record with that deck.
No, all Pike decks fucking suck.
Damn.
Damn.
Rough.
I hope someone who's
Uh,
like a lot better than me at card games listens to this and like proves me wrong hella hard.
Yeah, I hope Pike wins Albuquerque.
I know, that would be so funny. Please do it. Kevin Broberg, if you're listening.
Please.
You're on the oath.
Kevin Broberg, Travis Tangent,
Yeah.
Tim Keefe. We need you all to play Pike.
Andrew Porat,
Andrew Ford, yeah. Anybody who's ever won anything, you
Yeah.
have to play Pike at Albuquerque. Please.
And then my last match was against the exact same list for Ghidorah, and it was not great, but it truly instilled into me the dislike of combined firepower.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, he said the word of the day. Combined firepower.
Tell him what
Uh,
he's won.
Nothing.
Nothing but sadness. Combined
Sadness.
firepower. Yay, we talk about that on the podcast sometimes.
Every now and then. Talking about regionals, though, not cards. That comes later. Albuquerque. And the fact that some cards, specifically Attack on Titan Apocalypse, right? That's the name of the third set.
Yeah.
I hope-
Attack on Titan,
Yes.
not the end of Attack on Titan, but still an Attack on Titan set that I
Attack
have to deal
Titan
with.
attacks.
Attack Titan attacks.
Yeah, so Attack on Titan 3 comes out right before Albuquerque, and we received a notice that it will not be legal for that tournament, which is a good choice overall.
Thank
I think.
goodness.
Yeah, honestly, there was a
Absolutely, that
lot
is a good choice.
of people in Denver were like, "Yeah, we don't want to play in Albuquerque because it's gonna be legal the next day," and I was like, that's fair.
I've also seen a little bit of the opposite side of that, like here on like some of the Facebook groups. But I feel like I don't know how to take it because sometimes I feel like it's just people being like they just want to be the opposite of whatever like UVS says. Like, oh, they should have left it been legal. Yeah, I would have loved to fight to get product on time, and then had to go to an event planning to play a deck and then not getting to play that deck and then having to pivot last minute. That sounds like a good time. Or be at a disadvantage to people that got their stuff on time or have a bigger Universus community, or have to pay extra money on top of my event to get these cards at the event. Like, vendors should be able to make money at these events, no doubt. But also, if I have to buy all of my product at this event, you know who suffers the most? My local scene. My locals then are not getting my money for that product because I already have it. I bought it all at the
you
event.
had to go buy it.
Because I was forced to buy it at an event. Like, there are so many problems I have with that being legal for that event that affect not only like a bad experience as a player, but also trickle down into my locals. And like, some card shops already have trouble supporting this game. So like, let's not make it worse. And two, I don't want to like. I said this to somebody while we were sitting in Denver. I feel like I'm in an extremely privileged position when it comes to cards. I played Vax in Denver. I was able to say, "Hey, team, I need these cards," and James lent me most of those cards. Between the 6 of us, we buy a lot of product. I think we all ended up getting cases of Heroes of Exandria, which is not necessarily a normal occurrence. We don't always shell out for that. But when we see a set like Heroes of Exandria, there's such a good set.
Yes.
We want to definitely make sure that we're supporting it and putting our money where we think it should go when UVS puts out a banger set. AOT 1 and 2 do not make me want to buy a case of AOT3, and I should not be forced into spending a whole bunch of extra money that I may or may not have to try to compete at a regional where the set has been legal for a day. So not only have I not had real-time testing, because our locals, we don't do pre-release until like 2 days before set drop. Like, that's when we do our pre-release, is the week of. And that does not feel good if I get a sealed event at my locals to play with cards, and then I have to fly to an event, we're driving to Albuquerque, but drive to Albuquerque and then go, oh, well, now I have to have all these cards. And the last 2 AOT sets have had characters in them that have kind of run the meta. So you're telling me we either have to have a pre-set drop ban on characters that are speculatively too strong, which won't happen. UVS almost never does that. They let Bertolt 2 go unhit all the way up to through nationals. So you're telling me you want to roll those dice again?
Yeah,
when 2 out of 3 so far have already been too strong on release? Nah, miss me with that. This is, in my very humble opinion, the correct call to say it's not legal for this event. We can still do AOT, which after talking to round 3 is what they're called.
Round 3.
Yep, round 3.
We talked to them a little bit in Denver. Also, they're going to be doing pre-releases and ways to play with the new cards at the event, which is fantastic. Everything I heard about that they're wanting to do for that event, absolutely fantastic.
That's really
why one of the main reasons why we're going is we want to support that type of event planning, and we can still play and do some AOT3 pre-releases, and I think that's fun. I think that's a very good time, and I think that also sets us up for some really cool AOT AOT3 drafts, like on-demand drafts.
Mm-hmm.
And I really applaud UVS for seeing this as a potential problem, because I didn't talk to a single person in Denver, and a lot of the people that we talked to, I've seen at multiple events, so they travel about as much as we do to go to these events, and none of them were happy about it. I didn't hear a single person go, "Yeah, man, I really want this to be legal for that weekend." Everyone was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to fight for product. I'm gonna have to like figure out my deck weeks in advance. We're only gonna have reveals for a handful of weeks beforehand, and then you have to do online testing." And to be honest, even online testing does not feel as good as paper testing. So it's just one of those things where I really do want to applaud UVS for making a, in my opinion, tough call. But the right call. I think this is very player friendly. It is very product friendly, and it ensures that there hopefully won't be any scalping or high end price adjustments day of the event.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a fantastic decision. Like I heard it while we were at Denver, didn't even realize it, and then I was like, wow, this is, to be honest, made me not want to attend to Albuquerque. I was like, well, I don't want to go because, I mean, all the reasons that you kind of talked about already, but this definitely, flips my switch for sure. Like, I'm excited now because, like, I know what's legal. I know what's going to be legal, so we can start testing now. We can make any changes we need to, and we can get the cards that we need, which is just something that would not be possible if the set was coming out the day before the event. So I think this is a fantastic move.
Yeah, so them making this decision, definitely the right call. Plenty of other card games do this too. Like when you have a big event and you have a set coming out even a week before, the set's not legal for the event. So them making this decision, definitely the right call. It's definitely what other places and card games do.
Mhm.
So good on them for doing the right thing.
Yeah, we don't really care about other card games, though.
I know. I'm just
No, I mean,
I have experience with other card
I
games,
know, I'm
so
just
like
kidding.
this is a common thing that happens with events and a release schedule, and this is the answer. Anything else is honestly not acceptable, and like James said, we were talking about not going to Albuquerque because of it.
I am curious, what made them want to do that in the first place? The only answer I can think of, honestly, is just funneling people to buy products like the day of. I can't think of any other reason they would do it, unless it was just like the dates kind of shook out like that, and they just didn't have time to change it, and they just didn't think about it. But I am curious what the idea was to make it legal the day before.
my thinking on it is that they probably didn't know when in May the event was going to be, because that was going to be up to the organizers.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa, the organizers didn't know exactly when the set was going to drop, just in May. And so they both kind of were like, not playing like Russian roulette, as it were, but basically they didn't know what those numbers were going to be. And then those basically ended up choosing the same day. Because like obviously the organizers don't have any control of when the set releases.
Right.
And they've already kind of decided when that set's going to release for a while. Now, they could have said something to them. I don't know. But my thought is that going to it being legal part, that's because that's the current rule. Like the base rule in it is that it's just legal when they release. That product is legal as soon as it's available from release. But with them being that close, I think they were just like, oh, hey, we probably can't do that for this event. Overall, that can be the blanket rule, but we need to say it's not going to be the rule this time.
Yeah, so you're thinking it was just not even a purposeful thing. It was just like, oh, these dates are lining up in a certain way. We should make it not legal.
I feel like it was probably accidentally poor planning.
Yeah.
I'm like poor planning, obviously, where like maybe they lost communication in the middle. But also, like, if we're trying to run something every single month, they got to go somewhere. Yeah, there's going to be things like that. So,
yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to say is like, they never specifically said that the set was going to be legal for that event. We just assumed that was the case because cards are legal on release. But we never got an official statement from them one way or the other.
Until now.
So now we have, and it was the right one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of, because I like, if you're now not going to Albuquerque because you wanted this set to be illegal a day after, you probably weren't actually going to the event anyway. Like, I just can't think of a world where you are excited that you might be potentially price gouged unless you just have a big community and you're guaranteed your product every single time beforehand. I just can't think of I just can't think of another reason. I think this is going to have a lot more people wanting to go to Albuquerque. It's like James and Nick mentioned, we were planning on not going. We had talked about it, and we had thought
There was rumblings of it.
Yeah, and we were like, yeah, we're probably not going to go to Albuquerque. Like, we were like tentatively planning on going because we want to try to cover as many events as humanly possible. And while we can't cover every single event because this stuff costs time and money, and we all have to get off from our jobs and that type of thing, we want to try to be at whichever ones we can. And this one's not that far from where we live, so we really wanted to show up. And then we heard about the potential of the set, and then we had to take a couple steps back. We were like, hold on. That might not be a good idea.
Yeah.
And while we aren't like the best players in the scene, nowhere near.
Sure.
Most of us, like, we play for fun, but we want to be, semi-competitive, and we want to be at these events, trying our best. There's just not a way to make it feasible, because, I mean, you either have to buy all your product from a vendor, like you have to buy X amount of product from a vendor, hoping they have the product on time at the event.
Mm-hmm.
What if they only have X amount of product and you don't get it, and you were planning on playing that deck? Like, from what I understand, Round 3 was trying to like dance around that and like curb that a little bit, make it a little bit easier to get some of the AOT3 cards. But there's no way you can blanket that for every player and make that a feel-good experience. I think this is the best way to do that, especially with the history of problems we've had with AOT sets in the past, and they follow a pretty similar design philosophy. I think this is kind of the safe bet. I also think that, I mean, if you're trying to have events like every single month, it's like James was saying, it's gonna happen where you're gonna have these like slight overlaps where it's gonna be like a week and a half. I thought Denver was a little too close to Heroes of Exandria. I thought it was like cutting it close on like when we should be able to play them, but I think a week after is fair. I think a week and a half after is probably fair.
I think 2 weeks would be the golden number.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks is probably golden, like the golden spot. Like
2 and up, obviously.
But that's, I mean, if possible. But I think there is a little bit of concern that I understand when somebody brings up, well, that means AOT3 is only going to be legal for like one event or like 2 events or whatever before it's a different format. And honestly, I think it'll be fine.
That's because you don't care about AOT.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't care about AOT as an IP, but like I'm still gonna buy the cards that are good.
I just meant like if this was Turtles and you got told Turtles is only going to be legal for one event before another set comes out that probably overshadows Turtles, you might be a little disappointed.
And that's why I kind of like understand that argument a little bit. Like if this is kind of but you also got 3 AOT sets. We're not getting 3 Turtle sets.
You don't know that.
Well,
we're gonna get 4, 1 for every turtle.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, instead of
Thank
doing
you, Nick, for joining us.
Instead of doing like 6 attune symbols, they do 1 attune symbol per se. Okay, stop. Nope, this is bad.
That's not what I meant. I just meant we were going to get a set about each of the turtles.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no. I understand because like I personally, I don't know if you guys remember, we weren't podcasting yet, but I cried a lot when Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament came out, and all of our promos for like the store, like the now store champs and the regionals and all that stuff, all of our promos were not Yu Yu Hakusho related. Not even a little bit. I complained a lot.
Yes, he did. He was a whiny baby.
I was like crying at every locals. Like I was like, how are we going to get all this stuff and we're not getting like for my entire Yu Yu Hakusho season that they're dubbing that this is the season for this set, and I got no Yu Yu Hakusho promos. Was very upset. It hurt my feelings. So I understand why, if you're like, oh, big AOT fan, oh man, my set's not legal. I also think the challenger decks aren't a real set. So like, yeah, they'll have a handful of cards, but I don't think that 2 challenger decks can drastically shift an entire meta away from a full set.
Yeah, I mean, on average, that's probably true. Definitely don't look at Godzilla and Ghidorah when we talk about that. Those are outliers.
I
I still don't think they shift the whole set though. Like
They
they're
made
good,
they
but
made
the
that whole
AOT
meta that season.
point taken. I understand the point. I don't know.
I think it's also not that big a deal because prior to this year, each set got one event anyway, and the cards are still going to be legal when the new set comes out. They're just not going to be the fresh new meta defining things. So I think they're still going to have your time to play with your cards. Like I don't think, not having 2 events per set is going to kill anything.
Yeah, I mean, your cards are legal for 2 years. So, I mean, you'll have plenty of time to play with them. And if there's a character you like, awesome. It just means if you are looking to high roll with a character, sorry.
Speaking of legality, though, we are going to get a ban list soon. And obviously, it's not going to include any AOT3 stuff.
Or is it? Dun, dun, dun!
Unlikely. And also, because AOT3 is not going to be legal, it's very likely we get to see some cards get taken out, because otherwise we're just going to see the same thing for Denver. Minus a few. Obviously, there's a little bit of like work in progress stuff that could be happening. Some characters that might have needed to be left in the oven a little bit longer, and therefore their strategies needed to be cooked a little bit longer. But what do we think is going to be on that announcement on Wednesday?
Combined firepower.
Combined firepower.
That's my guess, honestly. Not even memeing. I really do think they're going to ban it.
I think it's possible. I think we get an errata to probably Nick and Mitchell.
You think so? Would they errata like champ cards that like people help design? The people who won them?
I'm sure.
Yes, I believe
as long
some
as they
of them
don't break
got
the
banned
main-
in the old days.
Oh yeah, Barrett Bryan's been banned. I'm pretty sure.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the case.
In the comments. correct us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they definitely would, because as long as they don't destroy the core identity of the character, they just like tune them down a little bit. Like I think, as long as they don't UVS these characters into the ground, I think that they'll be fine.
Maybe not the adjective we should be using for that, but continue with your statement.
No, we know that UVS has a habit of, rather than banning characters, they just nerf them close to unplayability.
That's less true now, though. We've been getting
That's
a lot
fair.
more nerfs that are more in line
Bertolt?
with everything else. Bertolt
Yeah,
1?
Bertolt 2 got like taken out back.
But
Bertolt 1? Mikasa
Bertolt.
1?
Well, Bertolt 1 was a...
It was an errata.
Yeah, but
Sure,
I
it
think
happened
was
before anybody played, but it was still an
I
errata.
think he was supposed to be like that. I think they just forgot to print that on the card, to be honest. But
maybe. We'll see. We can ask him about it.
True. Either way, I think there is a way that we bring these characters a little bit more in line, because everybody that I kind of talked to, the big consensus was, yeah, Nick Reagan is broken, and Mitchell is a problem as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, their character cards are also nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and errata for
But-
those seems likely. They were pretty crazy to go up against.
What about Science Bros? Do you think that one's gonna get it? Or is that not
It
really
doesn't
an
need
issue?
to.
If they touch combined firepower, it
Firepower,
doesn't
no.
need to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big thing about Science Bros is in certain decks, it's really good. But like I played it and doing like a similar off effect, and it didn't do almost anything except the one time I played into Andrew at locals.
All right.
Yeah, I think,
so,
especially if we get rid of firepower, it's just like Science Bros is no longer a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think Science Bros is even kind of.
Or if they don't want to get rid of combined firepower, just errata it. Like there are some changes that can be made.
I don't think they'll ban it just because it's in a challenger deck. Like opening up a challenger deck and not being able to play it in the deck feels bad. And I can see that being a valid reason why they wouldn't ban combined firepower, but it needs to either be your turn enhance or like once per turn. Like once per turn, you can play a combined firepower or something.
Get rid of that whole line about not counting towards progressive difficulty.
Yeah, or it like doesn't count towards progressive on your turn or something.
What if it only doesn't count for progressive if you are a monster? Which would just be Ghidorah, basically, and Radon.
And Rodan, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see them looking at some ways to kind of slow. Like I know that going since Denver, I think a lot more people are probably going to look at playing Rodon. So I think some of the meta is going to like change a little bit to like try to counter Rodon. Like people are going to be like, okay, well, I've got to be able to deal with Ghidorah and Rodon still. So I think we're gonna like people are going to shuffle those around a little bit, but you also have to be able to deal with like Godzilla and like Tyrion.
Tyrion's cool.
Tyrion's sick. I think Tyrion is super cool. But like I could see combined firepower like taking some type of hit, like a monster errata
A
to, like,
monster
make it
only
monster
enhance.
enhanced or something.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit it's part of what makes Vax as good as Vax is. When I played it, like the amount of times I just played 19 combined firepowers, and it's free damage for Vax. It's literally
Which is
like
why he should have been disqualified because he played more than 4 in the deck.
I only played like 20 combined firepowers in my deck, but it's on my deck list on the app. But like, yeah, it's like outside of like instances like that, and even then, I don't think Vax is like an unbeatable problem deck. Somebody might find something that I wasn't doing that you should be doing with it. But
Yeah, I mean, our game came down to a coin flip.
yeah, like our game came down to a coin flip. I lost to players that were better than me. Like they had no problem with it. And I played combined firepower, so that's what I mean. Is like those are the results that make it like I can see them not touching combined firepower, but it is a lingering problem for anybody that can play Death Casino. And with another AOT set on the horizon, people have to be thinking, what Death Casino card is getting added now?
That's why I'm hoping they'll touch some of the casino pieces.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think they touch with Casino though?
I mean, they just get rid of I'm With You and
just I'm With You and Loss of Consciousness literally is they're 2 commons, so they're not really that important. No one's going to be losing money over, hey, you can't play these commons from set 1. And the sealed effect is honestly one of the bigger parts that makes it feel so rough. They bing bong seal your answer because you were smart and you were playing the game and built a foundation that's going to protect you from the first one. And then they off the top or discard it from hand or blow it up from their stage as their first enhance, but they basically use something to go, cool, I'll seal it. And I have nothing against sealed. I like to seal people's cards. It's cool. I just think getting to access it the way that the casino deck does is maybe not ideal. Because it definitely makes it a lot harder to just like block it out or, weather that storm easily. Because I also think combined firepower on its face says, I'll mill 5 cards effectively. I'll mill 4 cards and make a check. And I will give myself 0 to 4 damage.
See,
And that's really not that exciting.
Yeah, that's fair.
my issue though with combined firepower is at least to my knowledge, because I don't know every card in the game, there's not very many ways to interact with that card or to get rid of it, so you don't have to keep dealing with it during a match.
There's more now than there has been.
I do agree there should be more answers to that. Specifically because of characters like Ghidorah that get to just play everything from their discard pile. Elder Toguro. Like, those characters that are trying to, like, assemble a deck in which they're allowed to play stuff from not their hand. Being able to go, hey, get rid of that. Stop doing that. Should be a little bit more prevalent if those characters are going to be good and prevalent. At least the options should be available. The big thing, I think, in a lot of ways, is I don't feel like it's combined by itself. Like I said, it's the package that combined enables that feels rough. And if you get rid of those 2 cards that have been the part of it, you really don't have a lot. Because the thing of getting to trigger combined firepowers off of combined firepower activations when you mill it and get the extra thing is what makes it feel so high rolly. If you
Yeah.
can't do that because there's nothing for you to remove, or more correctly, if they don't remove as cost, so it doesn't trigger its response window, you go, cool, I saw another combined firepower. Next turn, I'm going to play 2 of them. And then you see another one and you go, cool. Next turn, I'm hitting you with 3 of one. I am amassing a setup where I'm allowed to play all 4 of them and try and kill you on turn 3 or turn 4. Or maybe I see them all on turn 2 because of the mill. And I go, hey, turn 3, here it comes. I'm going to play all of them. And I'm really going to go to town. In which case, you could just errata the 2 commons to just say, response, you do the thing, and then they remove. If they don't remove as cost, they don't trigger combined firepower.
That's a good point.
Because I did that over and over with Battle for Dominance. I would flip it, remove something, and then go, I don't get to respond that, sorry. Like, I would say respond firepower, my opponent would go, and then I go, actually, that's not true, I'm so sorry. I did that a dozen times at World.
So you cheated at Worlds, huh?
No, because I immediately said, hey, that's not true, my
No
bad.
wonder you came in 5th.
I did.
He didn't come in 5th, he came in 18th.
I came in 18th overall
I heard 5th.
at the end. I came into 5th at the end of Swiss.
It counts.
Anyway,
They come in
point
fifth
being,
at an event at Worlds.
yeah, it was at some part of it. But point being, I was like, that if it doesn't count to activate it, I really don't think it's that bad for them to get an extra 2 damage. Maybe it's not even as bad for them to get to seal it. I don't love that, but it would be fine.
You ready for my Hail Mary guess on the ban list?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
13's
Sweeping
already not
daggers.
legal.
Sweeping
You
daggers?
what? What'd you say?
I said 13's already not legal.
True.
Oh, damn. You want just because that character's busted?
True. Is it
Uh,
Recovery Girl?
No.
Because she's also not legal anymore.
My Hail Mary guess is sweeping daggers.
You really think so?
You think so?
I don't know. I think it could get banned, but I am of the mind of if you are not playing good attacks, that card's not good.
I definitely have played it into a few characters, like anybody whose character is very specific in their game plan, and their attacks have to do some stuff, like have to do with like Caduceus, or like I'm trying to think of another good example. Nick was playing Paul Phoenix a couple of days ago, and he had this like punch package that I couldn't I could use. I happened to be able to use a little bit. It had some okay basic abilities, but a lot of them were just blank for me. And be like, oh, it's combo punch, and be like, well, I don't have punches, so I can't do anything about that kind of thing. Or I don't really care about these enhances because I don't buff them that way. I can't buff this thing. Where that card just removes an attack, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that ability. It's just not doing much for you. And then, of course, then you get things where they basically, you get to pretend to be Nick Reagan, the character, but I'm taking the coolest thing from my opponent and blowing you up.
Yeah, I don't actually think it would be banned, but that is one of my it feels really good. Feels really strong right now, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it. I can't really think of anything that's super apparent that's in everyone's face is man, this card needs to get messed with. Combined firepower is kind of rough, and I can see them trying to mess with Rodan a little bit, seeing as he's kind of had his time in the sun, but I don't feel like there's anything crazy that he does that and he would still benefit from combined firepower if he got changed for any of the stuff we said. So
agreed. I mean, if they hit combined firepower, I'm gonna be a little sad because I just don't think it's the problem necessarily. They're the cards around it, and it's just the messenger. It's going to die. It's going to die for back alley haymaker sins, basically. In which it's a card that's not really that messed up, but because there are other cards that kind of make it messed up, we're not gonna ban those cards. We're just gonna ban the card. and go, yeah, you could run those other cards if you're a weirdo. I think the big thing is there's really not any characters, like, other than the 2 new characters, the champ card characters. This was a set where no one was like, huh, that character is literally broken. We need to have that fixed. Like, there was no one from Exandria that felt like that.
No, there definitely wasn't. There was only a couple that even felt like competitively strong. So
Yeah, I think Exandria was a very well designed set.
mm-hmm.
Was
Yeah, I don't know, but it has to be something, right? Because they moved the ban list back a day.
That's just because they didn't want to release it on April 1st and have.
Yeah,
people
but that means
thinking
there
it
has to be
wasn't true.
something on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think truly it's
But
gonna
even if
be-
it was, hey, no changes, then people will be like, okay, cool. Now give us the real ban list now that it's not April 1st.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, yeah, we already did. And that'd
Yeah.
be the end of it. Or
I
they'd
mean,
put, like, the
agreed.
big bold letters, this is not an
But I
April
think they
Fool's.
just didn't want to do that regardless of what they put.
No, I
Whether
think
there's
that
no
means there's
change or
something.
anything.
There is something on it. There has to be.
I think it's gonna be combined
assume there.
firepower. I really do think that, or related. It's gonna be something that turns that off.
I'm hoping that it's something that turns that off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they've talked about plenty of times not wanting to turn 2 kills, and we've
Mhm.
got all these Death Casino lists that are turn 2 killing, and so it would be very reasonable for them to get rid of Death Casino.
And it's
or at least
combined
temper it in
firepower
some
that
way.
enables that, right?
Somewhat.
Yes and no. Getting rid of firepower kills Death Casino 100%.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But there, like Garza is saying, there's cards around it that you can kill Death Casino without getting rid of firepower. If
And
you
also
just
not
get rid of the
necessarily-
enablers.
Yeah, but like Death Casino also isn't like, I don't think it's the biggest problem right now, to be honest. Like, where were all the Death Casino lists that topped? Oh wait, they weren't. Like, is it a big feels bad experience when you do get Death Casino'd? Yes.
Yeah, negative play experience is a big deal.
Yeah.
And people complain about those things. I just think that you could touch the other pieces and leave combined firepower, a card that's shiny from what's effectively a starter product, like an entry into the game product, as opposed to banning it and then having these commons that don't really matter still be legal. And then, like, obviously none of those commons are ever going to get run either at that point because they don't do anything. But if you do the other way around, people will still run combined firepower, but it will not be this egregious thing that you go, okay, cool. Death combined firepower is going to go off. And they go, okay, well, they could give it some damage. They're going to mill some cards. I need to play around this extra little bit that they can give now. This action could push me over the edge. I need to make sure I'm protecting myself from it. As opposed to, oh, there's a good chance that this action turn just hits me for my whole health bar. And that's the way it was.
I was going to say, yeah, like, they, you when you say it like that, I think we should hit anything that draws cards.
You're right. Card draw, illegal. When we start a new turn, you draw one card.
You draw one card, period. Drawing up to hand size, no longer a thing. Your character still has a hand size, but you don't draw up to it.
Yeah, correct. In fact, let's remove abilities from our characters.
Okay, I like where this is
we're
going.
gonna make them all 6 hand size, 30 health characters. They're blank.
Okay.
They
Right.
still have symbols.
Brian, don't take this the wrong way, but keep your bad ideas to yourself, please.
Nope. I'm the summer queen. I'm the May queen. So I get to make the rules. And
Tell the
speaking
captain
of
got
rules,
to do that.
no, there's no such thing. Queens outrank captains. Everybody knows that.
Plus, I like his idea. I think if every character were blank and I could just play whoever I
If
wanted
every
with
character
no
was
repercussions,
bearded Titan, the world would be a better
If I
place.
could play whatever character I wanted, regardless of words on my character, I'm in. Because most of the time, I mean, obviously, like in the current meta, your character kind of has to do like whatever it is you're doing. Your character has to do it. Like you can't rely on the cards in your deck anymore because I feel like a lot of our deck building has become pretty generic. Unfortunately, like, I like the idea of a tune and being able to splash cards in decks based off a symbol, but I feel like if your character isn't doing it and they can't just take advantage of all the good cards while their character does something messed up, you can't play that character.
I kind of agree. There's definitely some homogeny on the symbol side because of Attuned. That means you need to play the characters that get it there. But also, I think there's a design choice of just wanting to have your character choices matter. There used to be a lot of, like in MHA 1 and 2, I remember playing a lot of, well, this character just plays the good cards. This character does it better because they have relevant words, but you could just put the exact same deck under another character who doesn't necessarily interact with it directly and still do pretty good. So like the homogeny is still the same, but it's like a different version of it. You know what I mean?
Sure. I think it also, because we have 2 full sets that are not every symbol. So not every symbol gets to play a bunch of different stuff, and we kind of like, you're kind of like forced to play like these broken cards, or not even really broken, but there are a bunch of just really strong cards on certain symbols that you kind of feel like you need to play if you're playing those symbols. So I mean,
Wait a minute. Hold on.
what?
I just want to point out real quick. Good got 0 cards in Exandria.
Correct.
The good symbol just doesn't
Wow.
exist.
Yep.
Evil only got 1, and all only got 1.
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
that's what, like, there are literal symbols that are sitting here not getting cards.
Good has not gotten a card in 1 year.
Yeah, because it got stuff in the Deku deck.
Oh yes, you're right. My bad. It got the Deku and
Also
it got the
Jin.
Tekken. It got
Yeah,
the Jin
Jin.
and it got the Jin and
Yeah, but
Jin
those are
and
very
Jin.
specific packages and mainly to Jin or to Deku.
It hasn't been in a set.
It
in
hasn't
1
been.
year.
It hasn't really been that impactful. But like that's what I'm saying though. Is like I feel less that card design is more like generic and more that your character does most of everything you want to do to play the game. And there's only like 3 symbols that actually exist, so it leads to a feeling of same.
Agreed. There's a little bit of that where you
Like
feel
you
like
either
you have
play.
to play
It feels
those.
like you either play like most of the decks are either running on like life or death or void
Chaos.
or chaos. 4 symbols. Sorry,
You're banned. You didn't know how many symbols there was supposed to be.
I can't count.
That makes sense. You play card games.
Sure,
But with
I thought
that,
that meant you couldn't read.
that too.
It's both.
both.
Wow.
At the same time.
Just wildly uneducated when you play card games.
Well, I am from redacted.
I do want to say one more time, thanks again for subscribing. Hitting 100 was a huge milestone for us. I know I'm proud of what we've been able to do, and I want to thank you all for helping us grow the channel.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's awesome seeing the comments, the likes, the feedback that you have for us. It's great seeing you guys at the tournaments too, saying hi to people that actually watch our silly content.
Yeah, and if there's certain content you like more than others, or there's something you want to see us do that we haven't done yet, definitely comment on our stuff. Like, let us know. Let us know on the Facebook or X.com posts and all that stuff. We're always looking to expand our content in general. And while we do event interviews and stuff, if there's other things that maybe we're not showing at events that you really want to see, let us know. We really want to grow and adapt and provide good community content for the people that either can't go to certain events or just want to watch a group of silly people do silly things.
Yeah.
That has to sometimes do with Universus.
Yeah, and I mean, if you
Usually
want
has
to
to do with
be on the
Universus.
podcast and talk to us, also let us know. If you got something cool to say,
We will consider it.
we will
Most likely.
consider it.
Yeah, we could do a write-in section.
I think that would be cool.
I mean, I'd be down. I think that's funny. I think that'd be really fun. Ex commenter said this,
Yeah, I think if we did like a comment of the week highlight or something.
but to
Okay,
do
is
that,
it-
we need
is it
you,
for
the
the-
people. We need you to do your part. Your voice must be heard. But with that, let us know in the comment sections what you think will be banned or not banned. You can tell us our opinions are wrong or right or any other thing. Subscribe, like, dislike, share it to your neighbors, whatever you want to do.
Tell all your government officials that you want us at the Creator Summit.
Or not at the Creator Summit, but like, make your voice be heard.
Yeah, let them know. And also tell everybody else that you know that you want us at the Creator Summit, even if they don't know what Universus is. Just talk to them anyway.
And even if
Tell the,
you
tell the
think-
postman.
Yeah.
even if you think that you don't want us there, you really do. So just tell them you want us there anyways. Even
We'll
if you
be
don't.
there for you.
Mm-hmm.
We are your voice. We're the voice of the people.
That's not true either.
That's not true, actually. We're the voice of specifically myself, Brian.
I'm Steph. I think Andrew is still falling.
I've been Jake, and I am not a crook.
I'm Nick, and I'm happy to be part of the team.
And I'm James. I'm just the other guy.